northern parts of Kentucky and southern parts of Indiana. Where any more active weather is right around the Boston area. You can see right here, and I think it's in southeastern New Hampshire, we had a wall cloud reported at 7:16 Eastern, weekly rotating wall cloud with rising scud immediately to my north. So again, it's been kind of a sporadic active day across the lower 48 here. Really quick, this severe thunderstorm watch here for parts of Colorado. Well, we've got a mesoscale discussion too, 65 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts. Hail up to 2.5 inch in diameter. But this severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 10 o'clock local time. I have it on the Eastern time zone for weather front. And so therefore it'll show 11 p.m. That's Eastern, but it's actually it would be even less than that, maybe 9 o'clock Mountain Time, because that Eastern Colorado is Mountain Time. Looking at this severe thunderstorm watch though here for Oklahoma, we have this one in effect until 2 a.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock Central Time. And so this is the storm we're looking at right now. So we're on the Dodge City radar. And so we've been watching this tornado warning cell. You can see this is where Stephen is right here, driving west. And this is this powerful supercell. We've been monitoring this for the past couple of hours. We've watched storm after storm develop across north central Oklahoma, making their way off to the east. I'm going to switch over the radar here really quick to an Oklahoma radar. And what I like about the Weather Front app is it makes it really easy for you. So you can search by state instead of needing to know the radar identifier. You can just go here and see, like I'm scrolling down to Oklahoma right here. We're going to do Oklahoma City, and we can get a really, really good view. So look at this scan. Looking at this report is showcasing a wall cloud, rotating wall cloud 4 miles to my north. Nothing looking too imminent currently, but the wall cloud looks very organized. So that's from Ethan Hale. That was at 9:09 this evening, which prompted this tornado warning. So we're going to actually look at this tornado warning. Radar indicated we got 11 minutes left for this tornado warning, 1.5 inch in diameter size hail. Let's double pane this so we can actually get a look at the rotation. So again, we look at this storm area right here, and we've got a broad area. So we've got like some different areas of rotation, like right here a little bit. What I think though we're looking at is more so maybe in this general area, but right here a little bit closer where we're seeing like that. And then we've got also this just broad area of rotation as well. So we've got a couple different areas that we're looking at with rotation. And so we're going to zoom out a little bit. And what I want to look at, I love looking at the history of these storms. And so just kind of looking at the overall theme. So let's look at, and it was actually looking strong. So watch this really quick. So we're going to go back just a little bit. So right here, you can see when it has the brighter, when the green turns like a really light green or bluish color, that means a very strong wind. Same with the red. The lighter the color, the faster the wind speed. And again, red is air moving away from the radar, and green is moving toward the radar. So again, when you have those back to back, the pixels back to back to each other on the radar, you know there's rotation. And so right here you can see 8:40 we had some rotation. There's been rotation in this storm. We've been watching it. And then at 9:03, let's see if there's anything unique that we potentially saw. There are some little areas of rotation across the storm. So again, it had tightened up, and again, very strong. Looks like it may be weakening just a little bit. They may extend it. They may not extend this tornado warning. I think they'll likely extend it into a severe thunderstorm warning. We will see, but let's look back to our west. So what's interesting, this is just north of Fairmont and east of Enid, and actually Stephen drove on this road earlier today, a 96 mile per hour wind gust. This is from a mesonet station in Breckenridge, and so basically almost a 100 mile per hour wind gust from one of these storms. And then we got another 88 mile per hour wind gust from a handheld anemometer. So again, very strong wind moved through here. We got another wind report of a large tree uprooted. And this here report semi-trailer rollover occurred at 102nd and 412 south of Breckenridge. So again, the winds were so strong, it toppled over trucks, semi-trucks. And look at the different reports of wall clouds. So rotating wall cloud 6 miles to my west. So these storms have been rotating. Another wall cloud report. So again, these storms have been beastly strong with wind and large hail. And we're going to get to, let's look at Steven's camera right now. I want to pull that one full screen so we can take a view of it. He's got a gorgeous view of these storms at sunset. Steven, anything that you've noticed, an increase in the lightning? Maybe tell us about the storm structure. Also, how does it feel outside there in Oklahoma where you're driving?
It feels hot and sticky. Saying it's 87 degrees where I'm at. Humidity was off the chain. But yeah, there's the lightning starting to uptick quite a bit. It looks like it's getting some shape in general with the entire storm. So I'm gonna go pull up pretty close and drop south, or maybe not drop south, but basically go to Ingallus, and maybe I could drop south of Ripley if I want. There's good roads, and all the paved roads are basically just paralleling or perpendicular to the storm right now.
I like it. So that's it's interesting. It is humid. I'm just north of Atlanta. It's very humid here. But what's fascinating about this, and you can tell there's very strong wind aloft because you've got the clouds going so far out and ahead of and in front of the main core of the storm. And you can also see the different striations within the storm as well. And you can tell if you look at kind of toward the lower right-hand side, you can see where the heavy rain is, where the hail is going to be, where the frequent lightning is. So again, that's a beast of a storm that Steven is driving to right there. So you can see he's about to be in Ingalls, and there's actually plenty of southern roads. So he can actually get to Ingalls, or he may want to make a southern road or southern drive down in between before he gets to Ingalls, depending on when the storm gets there. The good news is with this particular storm, I'm going to look at the severe thunderstorm warning and 70 mile per hour observed wind. So a considerable threat tag, has a tornado possible tag on it. And I think that was earlier with reported wall clouds, but also 1.5 inch size in diameter hail, which isn't as big. We were yesterday, I believe it was, we had up to 4 inch in diameter size hail that went through Beaver, the center and heart of Beaver, Oklahoma, in the Oklahoma Panhandle. And so that is significant hail. This can cause some damage, but not as bad damage as what we saw yesterday. And the good news too, Steven, with this storm, it doesn't look like the rotation is too organized at this moment in time. And the winds, we have reported wind gusts almost 100 miles per hour earlier, not nearly as strong as they were. We're still seeing a little bit of rotation right here, and then some other spotty areas of rotation. So it is something to keep an eye on. It could strengthen as well once we get that low-level jet continuing to ramp up as we get into the evening hours. That could enhance the storms and keep them going strong, and also enhance the vorticity and the spin a little bit as well. So again, we're going to monitor that. But the good news, Steven, with this storm, unlike the one that we were trying to outrun 2.5 weeks ago on June 8th in Kansas, Salina, where they had that 113 mile per hour wind gust at the local airport, this, yes, it is potentially a damaging storm with large hail and gusty wind, but it's not nearly as strong as it could be. And I think it was. And actually, we can take a look back. I like looking at the storm trends, looking back at the history. So let's look at this. So there was maybe a little bit more lightning earlier on. Now, what they have done is they've got this new warning here, right here, an updated warning. So let's see what they've got here. And usually that's a destructive sign when they've got the orange. So again, the destructive tag is on it. So tornado possible still, 80 mile per hour wind gusts observed. So remember, I was saying it's not as strong as the 90 or 100 earlier, but still 80 mile per hour wind gusts can knock over a tree. It can knock over a tree on your home. So the best thing you need to do, if you're in the path of this storm, if you're in Glencoe, Stillwater is about to move into you, Ingalls, looking at you in Ripley, Yale, Cushing, you need to get to the lowest level of your home's windows and just hunker down a little bit. A tornado is possible with this. I'm not seeing anything too significant in the rotation. There is rotation within the storm, but it's nothing too wrapped up or tight at this point, which is some great news. It was looking a little bit better earlier, but we are going to keep an eye on it with the just other areas of rotation that we may see. You know, you've got a little bit of something here, but I think that just maybe on the edge of the storm, this is where we're seeing the rotation. So again, we're going to closely monitor this, but again, this can cause some damage. But compared to the storms yesterday with 4-inch size hail and over 100 mile per hour wind gusts, it could be worse, but this still is going to pack a punch. Also heavy rain, so some ponding and flooding is possible on the roadways as well. When we watched Dorian and Steven chasing in the panhandle of Texas, I believe it was either Tuesday or Wednesday, Steven, you can correct me, where they came upon a flooded gravel dirt road a little bit, and then there was a lot of flooding in the town of Akron as well on a different day, and I think that was in Colorado. They're chasing Colorado, where there was significant flooding. So with this much rain happening so fast, falling so fast, that can cause some flooding. It may not last long, but it can be significant enough that could cause you to drive off the road. So you just got to be very careful with all this. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more, looking at some more of the other storms near Orlando, Mulhall, Crescent, and Lovell. We've got 70 mile per hour wind, radar indicated, and 1-inch hail. Considerable threat tag here. So again, this storm isn't nearly as strong as what this one is, but I think these storms are actually maybe in a bit of a weakening trend. We'll see. I'm going to go back in time. They were a little bit stronger, especially over Covington. They've had some rotation in it, but again, this is a beastly cluster of storms that will continue to propagate east as we head throughout the evening hours. So even thinking of the town of Westport, Manford, you may want to be prepared for this. They may start diving south and east, so Cushing, Perkins, Yale, you especially need to be prepared for these storms coming your way. And maybe even a little bit closer to Manford, we will see the propagation of these storms as they move off to the south and east. Anything else you're noticing right now? We've got Steven's camera live, and so what's kind of like cool, I think, and fascinating about a nighttime chase is you have the lightning lighting up the storm. There's still a little light in the sky, but what you can see is just how eerie and kind of bubbly, turbulent the clouds look. Again, we saw the striations earlier, but now it's kind of dark, so it's a little bit more difficult, but you can still pick out the different layers of the cloud. And actually, off in the distance, I mean, that may be, you got some lowering right there. That could be just a little bit of scud on the leading edge of the storm. We'll see. There is definitely some rotation in this storm, so we're going to keep a close eye on it as well. So again, Steven is driving toward these storms. Thank you to everyone who is joining us. We're so excited you're joining us on this Friday evening. It's a Friday evening storm chase. It's one of those where there was no tornado threat on the Storm Prediction Center. Actually was just walking through the radar and didn't realize I wasn't even showing you guys the radar and what I was doing. So we're going to look right now. This is Steven right here. He is with the Weather Watch team, and he is driving through the storm. What's interesting is we did get a 90 mile per hour wind gust, or near 90 mile per hour. Let's see, 86 mile per hour wind gust in ASOS station in Stillwater. So again, some significant wind with these storms. I think that's why they gave it the destructive tag on it, is because they received that report and therefore they had that alert, that extra alert. So they wanted you to know that. So again, over 80 mile per hour wind gusts observed with this possible tornado, 1.5 inch in diameter hail. So again, very destructive storm here. Steven is driving right into it. So I think, Steven, do you think you might dive south once you pass Ingalls, or are you going to continue towards Stillwater and then dive south?
I'm gonna stop here at the next south paved road and take a look.
Okay.
It just seemed like there's a little bit of a lowering further west.
Yeah.
It seems
There
like the
is some
storm.
rotation.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's kind of on the edge, so it's kind of tight right in there. So we'll see. There's a couple areas of rotation in this storm, so we'll have to keep an eye on it because they could spin up at any moment in time. These storms have been rotating. They're supercells. So the definition of a supercell thunderstorm is it has to be rotating, having that mesocyclone, that rotation. And so they may not necessarily produce a tornado. Most supercells don't produce a tornado. They're just rotating. Stephen, did you have an update?
Yeah.
Did I hear you?
There is a pretty large lowering to the north.
Okay.
So I'm gonna maybe pull up in 2 streets, just look north, because it looks like there's multiple areas. Let me take a better peek here.
Okay, definitely do that. And I love everyone in the chat. YouTube, we've got some great people. X, we've got some great people. Thank you to all of us for joining us this evening. We are watching Stephen with Weather Watch driving toward a destructive thunderstorm that had a reported 86 mile per hour wind gust, 1.5 inch diameter size hail with a possible tornado. There's multiple rotations on kind of this cluster of supercell thunderstorms that have been tracking west to east across Oklahoma. So this is a nighttime chase. These can be a little bit more difficult because a lot of times you're relying on, there's still a little bit of light in the sky right now. We're past sunset, but you rely on the lightning, right? The flashes of the lightning to really understand, okay, what is the storm structure? And so Stephen knows what he is looking at. So he's seeing some different lowerings. So we're looking at his camera. But the interesting thing is, and I'm going to show this to you really quickly, there was no tornado outlook. If you look at this, and this can happen sometimes, if we zoom out really, really quickly, we're going to make this single panel. So we're going to go like this. We're going to go to overlays, scenes. We're kind of moving around here just a little bit. Weather advanced, there we go, outlooks. So this is the overall threat we had for today. And I'm going to take this off so I can just maneuver this. And we look at the tornado threat, and you can do that. The tornado threat was centered around southern and southeastern parts of Missouri and central northern Kentucky. But we had, I believe we had a tornado report across southern Missouri. We had a tornado report in Colorado. And we've had multiple wall cloud reports around Oklahoma. So again, I had a feeling it was ripe. There was a small
Oh shit. Warning. this on. 1 second.